What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So the stock market's a bit rocky so far today, everybody. The S&P 500 with 50 minutes left in the session is down 0.2%, down about 6 points. The Dow Jones is also down 0.2%, down 50 points. And the NASDAQ 100 is pretty much break even, not doing much at all, down about 3 points on the day so far. And in this video, we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down some technicals, going over the top stocks that I'm actually looking to buy as we're getting into the month of October here in 2020. And I also want to go over what I've been doing. I bought a stock today. I bought more into a position. So I want to update you guys on what I'm doing. And I also want to go over my thoughts around the stock market as a whole. Is the sell-off finally over? Is it just getting started? We're going to go over some thoughts there. So if you guys find value, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to join our free Strive Smart Discord chat, our free Strive Smart Facebook group, and if you guys want 2 free stocks, check out that link down below from WeBull. All you have to do is deposit $100 and you get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,600. I also get 2 free stocks since it is an affiliate link, and again, that's linked right down below in the description box. So let's get into it, guys. Again, just like yesterday, we're going to have some live action in this video with about 45 minutes left in the session. So let's take a look. The S&P 500, we all know at this point, all of September, the stock market as a whole has been getting hit. September is a historically weak month in the market, but lucky for us, guys, September's almost over. September's almost over. It's the 29th of September today. So it could be behind us, historically speaking, and we'll get into that here in a second. And as we can see, as September has been slowly coming to an end, the markets have started to break out. The S&P 500 was downtrending again all of September, and you guys can notice once we hit 3230 back on the 21st of September, we popped up, we tested that 50 SMA here on the hourly chart, we failed to break out, we pushed back down, but take a look, we held 3230 again, and then we broke out. So that's proving to me 3230 in the short term is a very strong base level of support. So we broke out of that wedge. That was actually 2 days ago. That was on Friday, right? We broke out of that wedge. We broke that 50 SMA here on the hourly chart, followed by a massive gap up yesterday. And today, guys, like we just saw, I mean, we're pretty much break even. So today could arguably be a consolidation day before we end up picking a direction, and we'll get into that here in a minute or two. So we saw the breakout, which is very bullish, but overall speaking here, guys, we're still under big resistances, no doubt about it. That 180 SMA here on the hourly chart, this gold line, and right around 3420 on the S&P. Those are 2 massive levels of resistance. But one thing that I'm seeing right now that's very positive for the bulls, despite failing to break out of the resistance as of now, take a look. We're actually holding 3330. 3330 is a level that if we zoom in here on the intraday chart, we can see we actually hit 3330 earlier at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. We dipped below it a little bit, but ultimately we recovered above it, which is showing the strength of 3330 as a support. And it seems like now we're going to rally into the close. At least that's what we're seeing now. And again, that's solidifying 3330, which if you guys take a look, that is where we held back in the beginning of September. On the 8th of September, we held that. Also on the 11th, also on the 18th, and the actually no, it was the 17th and the 18th. So needless to say, this is a very strong level. If we hold this and we're somehow able to break out of yesterday's highs at about 3360 and this 180 SMA and this big resistance at 3380, if we're able to do that, that is going to signal, in my eyes, a breakout. We could maybe gap up all the way to, let's say, 34.25 at that point, especially if we break 33.80, guys. Giving the S&P from here, I'd give it a nice 2 to 2.5% upside. And if 33 or 34.20, 34.30 breaks, which again is that resistance from earlier in September, that is where I think the S&P could be off to the races, technically speaking, at this point, right? But again, at this point right now, we're not seeing those breaks quite yet, so we have to be very cautious because this could still, believe it or not, guys, it can still be a bull trap if we get rejected under this 180 SMA and take a sudden dip under 3330. If 3330 breaks and we start gapping back down into 3200 territory, that's not going to be too good for the bulls whatsoever. So just watch out. Again, tomorrow's going to be a big direction picking day. The whole week, the rest of the week will be, because 3330 is huge. Whether we break below it, that's going to trigger more selling in my opinion, or if we hold it and pop above 3380, that would actually bring a lot more momentum in my opinion. So watch out for this level and those other couple of levels here that we just talked about on the S&P. When it comes down to the stock market sell-off, that's really going to help you in determining the direction in the short term, whether or not we're going to rip higher or sell off even further. And what I just said, you guys will see it kind of coincides with what's going on here on the Dow Jones, right? We're holding 27,500, which was a support back earlier in September. That's a good sign, but we're still trading under the 180 SMA resistance here, which we got rejected at earlier in September. We're still trading below the high from yesterday. So until the Dow is able to break the high from yesterday, 27,700, and that 180 SMA, which is right around the same spot, I'm not thinking that we're breaking out fully quite yet. But the second we break above 27,700, if we gap up above it, we might see a short-term rally of about close to 2%, maybe to 28,200. And if that breaks 28,200, which is another big level of resistance here on the Dow Jones all of the month of September so far, if that breaks, that is where I think the Dow Jones could be off to the races, maybe back up to those highs from back in earlier in the beginning of September, right around 29,200. And a lot of people are predicting maybe a Santa Claus rally if the markets rally through the holidays, which could happen. That could happen. And if that does happen, obviously, I mean, it's going to be a huge push here. And especially if holiday sales are looking good and a lot of these big companies out there, you know, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, and a bunch of other ones, you know, if they kick earnings, you know what? I can't cuss on the channel, but you know what? If they do that, hey, we might see a nice little Santa Claus rally. And speaking about earnings, guys, speaking of earnings, we have a bunch coming up here. I don't have my phone on me right now, but I know that Netflix is reporting, and we'll talk about here a couple that are reporting on Thursday. But a bunch of companies are starting to report later on in October, so be ready. That could definitely shift the direction in the market and maybe, just maybe, position us for some sort of Santa Claus rally. We'll see what ends up happening there. And when it comes down to the NASDAQ 100, currently down 15 points, down 0.15%, you guys can see, yeah, we did break the highs from yesterday on the NASDAQ 100, but we're still trading under a big level of resistance, right around 11,500, which we've been talking about here on this index, and right under that 180 SMA on the hourly chart. We're still trading under it, and you guys can clearly see how big of a resistance it is, and actually it's arguably breaking out right now, and we'll see what happens in the next 40 minutes of the market here. But NASDAQ 100, if it breaks out of this 180 SMA, I think in the short term we could make a 200-point move back up to 11,500. And I've said if that breaks on the NASDAQ 100, this is going to the moon. And maybe not to the moon. I don't know if I'm exaggerating a bit, but I think it could end up doing well, maybe seeing a nice little 3 to 5% move above that. Who knows? We'll see what ends up happening here. And mind you guys, there's still a lot of things up in the air. We obviously have stimulus. People are arguing, you know, when's that going to come? I don't know if it's going to come before the election. Probably not. But after the election, if it comes, how is that going to fluctuate stock prices? How is the election itself going to fluctuate stock stock prices. So there's a lot of what ifs at this point. So be careful. Be careful. One way that you can mitigate against this, obviously I've been talking about this a lot, is have cash in your portfolio across your different accounts. This is a way that you can mitigate against the volatility, against risk, because you have cash, which allows you to buy into stocks when there is volatility and if there is selling. So watch out for 11,500 here on the NASDAQ. If 11,300 breaks, we might be going down. And if 11,000 breaks, watch out below, because that could signal a bull trap here on the NASDAQ. So let me know your thoughts down below. And mind you guys, if you have any thoughts across the video, feel free to just drop them down below in the comments. If you have any questions as well, let me know down below in the comments. And if you guys are enjoying the video, hit that like button for me. Maybe, just maybe, subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out, and I do appreciate you guys a ton. So what did I do today? I didn't do much again today. Yesterday I didn't do much. Today I didn't do much, but I ended up buying a little bit more of Apple. I bought Apple originally, I don't even remember, I think it was in the 120s. Yup, I bought, here in my notes it says 125, bought more at 108.50, and now I bought more at 114.05, $114.05. I think I bought, it was earlier in the day, right around here, midday, I'd say, right around 12 p.m. here on the East Coast. And ever since then, it's been rallying up, but I don't care, because for me, guys, I'm not looking to day trade this. I'm not looking to get in and out. I'm actually looking to hold this for an extended period of time. Not a couple of years, because this is a swing trade, so maybe more like a couple of months, but I'm just looking at it as a hold right now. And I do own some in long-term accounts, which I'm not touching, right? I'm not touching that for years, but in my trading account where I've built this position, and now I'm actually right around my cost basis, right around 115, now that I added more at 114.05, I'm very interested in just holding on and just riding out the wave. I think in the next couple of months, Apple's going a lot higher as the iPhone's going to come out, as we get more sales numbers, guidance numbers, and so forth. And the technicals are looking very strong on Apple at this point. It's hard to deny it, right? We saw a sudden drop from 138 to 115, followed by an even bigger drop. Actually, no, not really a bigger drop, but a more gradual drop from 115 to 103. But ever since then, let me extend this little trend line to the right. You guys can see it. Ever since that sell-off where we touched 103, seems like we double bottomed at 103, and now we're breaking out of the overall downtrend, right? We broke the downtrend, we broke the 50 SMA and the 180 SMA, and now we're seeing a bullish cross on Apple, which is whenever a smaller time frame moving average crosses above a larger time frame moving average. In this case, the 50 SMA is crossing above the 180 SMA. That could trigger and signal a buy signal, right? Which is why I ended up adding a little bit more to my Apple position. And you guys see the wedge that we're in as well. If I zoom in here on the 5-day, 5-minute, take a look. I mean, if we break out of this wedge and break out of 115, that is where I think Apple has a good chance of getting back to the 120s. That's quite honestly my opinion. So watch out here for Apple. And by no means, guys, should you go out and buy Apple, because I am. Always do your own research. Always do your own due diligence. Don't buy because I'm buying. I'm just telling you guys what I'm doing and my personal opinion, right? So it's looking good here, but I'm not oblivious to the fact that we're still under the 180 SMA and a big resistance coming up at 118. So at this point, until we break out of 118 and into the 120s, I'm just holding on to Apple. If we do break into 120, I might even average up. I might even add more to my position on that move, because that would just be extremely bullish in my eyes, at least from a technical perspective. So Apple is the only thing that only stock that I ended up adding to today. And again, I'm right around my average cost right now. I was in at about 117-ish prior to me adding at 114.05. That really brought my cost down a little bit to right around 115. So we'll see what happens with Apple. I'm super excited about it. And I'm still in EA, Electronic Arts. This is more of a small swing trade. It's not doing too well today, down about 2%, down almost $3. But I'm still hopeful because the trend is still intact, right? Yeah, we got rejected at 134, but we were arguably overbought there. And now that we're selling off, we're coming on a big resistance, old resistance, and we're going to test it as a new support right around 129 to 129.50. If this level holds at a higher low above that 50 SMA as well on the 4-hour chart here, we start to make a move back up to the mid 130s. That is going to be positive in my eyes, and I might even add more in that position and in that circumstance, right? And at this point, I'm in at $131.20. And again, this is a small swing trade. I'm not too heavy into it. Apple, I am much more heavy into as opposed to EA here. But I think it's going to be worth the patience with this one. I think it's going to do well in the next couple of months. So EA, Apple, those are the ones I'm in, and also Workhorse, guys. Workhorse, we got some good news from Workhorse yesterday as we saw President Trump pictured, and there was a video, a 6-minute video. You guys should go check that out. He was with the CEO of Lordstown Motors, showing off the Endurance truck, which Workhorse owns 10% of Lordstown Motors, so that's why it's good for Workhorse that he was showing that truck. President Trump was showing that truck because they own 10% of Lordstown Motors, and which is actually DPHC is the ticker symbol on that. So I'm actually not in DPHC, which is up 3% right now, but I'm in Workhorse, right? WKHS, which I'm in at about... What's my average? I don't even have it here. I was buying in at 23, ended up adding more at 25. So my average is right around, it's got to be in the 24, somewhere around there. So I'm up a good chunk on my position, and I'm not too surprised that we sold off today. I'm actually happy Workhorse sold off today, saw a bit of a healthy sell-off after it saw that massive move, which was really assisted by President Trump and probably some short squeezing, some shorts getting out of their, covering their shorts yesterday. That probably, assisted in the stock going up. So I'm in Workhorse at about 24, right around there. The sell-off seems to be holding. And on the intraday chart here, you guys can see a nice little rally is setting up until the close. So we'll see. I mean, take a look here. If I extend this to the right, it's already looking like it's breaking. But if we get a clear-cut break into the high 27s, either today in the next half hour or tomorrow pre-market during the day, that's going to be a very good sign for more bullish momentum to come in Workhorse. And honestly, I'm holding on, so I think it's going to go higher, or else I'd be selling out of my shares at this point in time. So let me know in the comments, what are you guys doing? What are your thoughts as always? Now, let's talk about some other stocks, and I do have a hefty list here, so we have to go a bit fast. Let's talk about some stocks here heading into October that I'm watching. Grubhub is number 1, GRUB. Grubhub up 1% today, a little bit over that, up 83 cents so far. And this came up to my attention in the Discord chat, which again is free and linked down below in the description box. And I absolutely love it because if you're in a community of people that has, at this point, the Discord has like 3,500 people, you're bound to see and talk about stocks, and other people are bound to show you stocks that you don't, well, you obviously know a lot of them, but that you're not tracking yourself, right? Obviously, I knew and know about Grubhub. I've ordered from them many times, guys, believe me, but I haven't been looking at their stock. And once this person shouted out the stock, I watched it, and now it's on my watch list. That's the absolute beauty of being in a trading community, and especially one that is free. And again, linked right down below. So Grubhub was called out in the Discord, and I'm absolutely loving it, right? At this point, it hasn't fully broken out quite yet. There's actually a big resistance coming up at about 73 to 73.50 here, and you guys can see it on the 4-hour chart. But I'm thinking if we're able to break out of 73 and into $74, there's a lot of upside here, back up to about $79. That gives Grubhub close to 7% upside, right? And if we pull up this yearly chart, you guys can see it even better. And arguably, guys, on the flip side, one thing to keep an eye out on, this could be a head and shoulder. So be careful. This could be a head and shoulder if we fail at 73.50, which is why it's so important to wait, in my opinion, until 74 breaks to get in. But if we fail at 73.50 and do something like this, what is that going to look like? That's looking like a textbook head and shoulder, which is not something I would like to go long on. But again, if 74 breaks and we do something like this, we're going to start heading back into the mid-70s, higher 70s, which I'm very excited about to go long on. So we'll see what happens here, but overall, I love Grubhub at this point. I think there's a lot of potential, and I mean, take a look. I mean, this stock's gone from $150 down to $30. Now it's just starting to come back, so who knows? It arguably has even more upside than just $79, especially if they start reporting strong earnings and so forth, which honestly, guys, I haven't looked deep into the business, so I couldn't really tell you what their earnings outlook is like right now, but you guys can do that research on your own and determine that on your own. And another one here is INTC, which I think is reporting in October. This is one of those stocks that's reporting. Let's take a look here. Yup, on the 22nd of October, so in about 3 weeks from now, Intel is reporting, and this is one that has gotten clobbered. We all know it. We've seen it. They reported bad earnings. The company dropped from $60 down to about $47. The delay of their biggest chips, the AMD's coming in, taking market share and so forth. People were freaking out. INTC dropped a ton, but we talked about how this could be a recovery play. I don't think it's going much under 45. It didn't go much under 45. We can see that now as we've seen a lot of weeks of trading, right? It's obviously held $45, and now it seems like we're running back to test that high from back in the beginning of September, right around $52. And I think if $52 is able to break, you guys can see we tested it yesterday, failed. We pulled back down. Now we're looking to test $51. So let's say if 51 holds, we break 52, and that high from back on the 2nd of this month, back in the beginning of September, that is where I think Intel has a lot of opportunity. Maybe back up from $52, maybe up to, let's say, on this 4-hour chart, let's take a look at some price targets. Maybe from 52, maybe up. This is going to be a big of resistance. Maybe around 57, right? If we're able to go from 52 to 57 here on Intel, I would love it. So I'm watching out for that move on this particular stock. And let me just set an alert. Might as well create an alert here at about 53. Let's put it at $53 per share just to give it some wiggle room there to break out of there. So 53 here on Intel. Virgin Galactic today, guys. SPCE. I've been getting a lot of questions about it, so let's talk about it. Virgin Galactic, I am not rushing to buy into it right now. I've noticed Virgin Galactic, when it sees massive run-ups like this, it seems to sell off a bit after. It consolidates a bit. It cools off a bit. And we can see that in recent run-ups. I mean, take a look. It ran up aggressively here very quickly, then it sold off a bit. Ran up aggressively, sold off a bit, right? It ran up aggressively recently, then it saw, excuse me, guys, it saw about a couple good weeks of selling. So now that we popped up to $21, I don't want to get caught here knowing that 21's a big resistance, but I don't want to miss the boat either. So I'm just giving it some wiggle room. I'm thinking it could trade sideways a little bit between 21 and 19. We talked about that yesterday. So if we're able to trade sideways, maybe get an entry point closer to $19, I'm all for it. I think that could be a nice buy point. But buying before it breaks out of 21, knowing 21's a big resistance, I don't want to pull the trigger quite yet. But if we're able to make, let's say, consolidate a little bit and make a clear-cut break out of 21 into, let's say, $22, maybe then we could buy into the momentum. But at this point, I'm just being careful with it, letting it play out a little bit for the next couple of days, not rushing into it. So another one here is NIO. I think they got a buy rating today. They got upgraded today. Let me take a look here for you guys on live news. I'm not really seeing anything, but here we go. Well, they got a buy rating a couple days ago. Deutsche Bank is calling NIO the next iconic auto company. Well, that'll do it. I think that was it. Deutsche Bank, thank you, because NIO's up 11% on that call out. And take a look at how bullish NIO has been. This is unbelievable, right? We took out $16. We rallied up to 21, consolidated for a good month here. We formed this wedge, very bullish. It's a bull flag here. You guys can see it. Very bullish sign. And now we're taking this top resistance out. The wedge, we're taking the resistance out here of this wedge at about $19 with today's move. So who knows where NIO is going to go now that we're seeing this bullish move. We could end up, take a look what happened last time we broke a wedge on a bullish move, right? NIO went from 15 to 21. Now that we're doing it again at 19, who knows? Maybe it goes from $19, $20 to $25. That's very possible in my opinion right now with NIO, but very similar to Space, Virgin Galactic. I'm not looking to rush quite into it. If we see some sort of pull down, maybe back to the mid-19s, $20, maybe then I'll buy in. But then again, guys, I'm not looking to rush it. And seriously, well, for me, in my instance, I own shares long-term of NIO at a very low price. So that's another reason why I'm not looking to rush it quite yet. But either way, NIO is it's going to do well. I think it's a great company. It's a great stock. I'm bullish on the stock. And in short term speaking, anything at $20.19, I think it's a good buy for a swing trade. But again, do your own due diligence, guys. Don't buy based on my opinion. And another one here is Pepsi, which is reporting earnings on Thursday. Pepsi's got a big resistance at 140. So until we break that, I'm not too interested of getting into Pepsi. But if we do break that, guys, 138, 140, watch out. This thing could easily go back up to the mid 140s, maybe $147, and that's kind of what I'm looking out for with this particular stock. And NVIDIA is another one. NVDA, absolutely crazy of a move in the past couple of days here. NVIDIA's up $8, up 1.5% today, breaking and fiddling around that 520, 530 resistance, which I'm loving, guys. We actually already broke the 520. Now we're onto the 530 level. So if 530 breaks, I'm thinking NVIDIA is going to see a big move, maybe back up mid 500s. I don't know if it's going to go back up to 600 quite yet. We have to be careful there, but mid 500s, and especially if the markets see a big day tomorrow or maybe some point this week, I can see NVIDIA do very well. So I'm watching NVIDIA on that breakout, and BBY is did I say Best Buy? Yes, Best Buy. And Best Buy and I think Bath and Body Works is reporting earnings. But either way, Best Buy is out of this wedge. It's in a very similar pattern to what NIO was in. Take a look at NIO. Now take a look at Best Buy, right? It formed this bull flag going back to Best Buy. You can see it kind of as well. Not as much as NIO, but you guys get the point, right? We're breaking out of this wedge. We're breaking out of that resistance. We gapped up out of it. That is extremely bullish in my eyes here on the 4-hour, giving Best Buy from 110 to 120. That's a nice $10 range of about 10% for this stock. So watch out for that one. And I'm thinking Bed Bath & Beyond, or what is, I don't even know the ticker symbol on that one, guys, but I think one of those is reporting one day, I think on Thursday. So actually, yeah, Bed Bath & Beyond, yup, Thursday. You guys can see it on the 1st. So watch out for Bed Bath & Beyond, which is BBBY, and Best Buy is BBY. So that's a bit confusing there, which is why I got confused. But both of them I'm watching, both Best Buy and Bed Bath & Beyond, as well as Shopify, guys. Shopify is one that I was in. I traded it, I think a week and a half ago. I made some good money on Shopify, but I didn't ride it out, which I should have, guys. I should have. This is a mistake on my part. I'm kicking myself because we called it out. You guys know it. We called it out when Shopify was at $850. We called it out, and especially as it got back above 900. I was telling you guys how Shopify was moving sideways for a couple months. It's bound to go back up to 1,000, 1050, and what do you know? It did exactly that. But like I say all the time here on the channel, guys, when you run a YouTube channel about the stock market and you have all these stocks all day that people are asking you about, you can't possibly catch every move. It's impossible unless I had millions of dollars where I could just buy everything, which I don't. It's hard to catch all the moves, but I did catch it about 10 days ago. We made a little profit, and if you guys ended up playing it, let me know down below. I'd be really happy if you guys caught this move. I'd love to know if you guys did. So overall, that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, got some insight, and to quickly run through what all the stocks were that we talked about. Let's do that now. We talked about Apple. We talked about Electronic Arts. We talked about Workhorse Group, Grubhub, Intel, Virgin Galactic, Neo, Pepsi, NVIDIA, Bed Bath & Beyond, Best Buy, as well as Shopify. So if you guys found value, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to check out all the free links down below. The Discord chat, join that. The Facebook group, you better join that too. And if you guys want 2 free stocks from WeBull, it was 1 free stock. Now it's back to 2 for some reason. They keep changing it, guys. If you want 2 free stocks, check out the link down below. Deposit $100. You get 2 free stocks up to $1,600. They're valued. And I also get 2 free stocks since it is an affiliate link. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, guys, stay safe out there. Peace out.